Aloha, everybody. Welcome to Aquarian Radio at aquarianradio.com. And this is an episode of Future Trek. And I'm your host, Janet Lessin. Who am I? Janet Carol Lessin with Karen Christine Patrick. And we have Neil Gaur. And today we're going to talk about, I don't know what we're going to talk about, just all kinds of wonderful things about consciousness and enlightenment and the fun and happy things that are happening in 2018. And we're going to invite everybody to come to something somewhere on the planet to help get involved in this enlightenment, what do you call it, portal to the cosmos or Stargate to the cosmos. You know, yours is Portal to Ascension, and my original name for my conference is Stargate to the Cosmos. That may be what we're calling a conference we're doing in Albuquerque sometime. We're looking at dates. And Karen, my apologies. I downloaded your intro, and then I went to my computer this morning, and it didn't work. So I was waiting for my to come in and fix it remotely, and he hasn't logged on yet. So then I come over here, it's like, oh, I thought I had uploaded that. Anyway, I'm losing my mind. I'm about a month from my 64th birthday, and somebody please feed me when I'm 64 and still need me. Anyway, I'm okay. So I'm very excited to have both of you. Karen, would you like to say something, and then we're going to bring on Neil, and Neil, you can tell our listeners about yourself and your work. Go ahead, Karen.
Okay. Yeah. This is our first show of Future Trek. I think, our feeling was, we need to talk about the future, and we need to define it with our intentions. And so that's kind of what we're doing. I mean, we've spent a lot of time dissecting the things that haven't exactly gone right with life and society and everything. And we wanted to highlight, what the future could be based on new ideas, all kinds of positive intention, what people are doing, and how we're going to go forward into this new year, 2018, and really have a better outcome than I think some people felt from last year. I know I was a little bit like a flat soda, in my feelings, but I said, it's what you choose it to be and what you intend for it to be. That's what's important.
Right. And I think if people have a goal of somewhere they can go to, see, right now we're in this kind of matrix, this box, and it's very small, and maybe it's getting smaller every day, and it has all these rules and regulations that shoulds and must and all this stuff, and it's just like Orwell's 1984 combined with the Matrix. And yet there's a way to go outside of this box, and that's what I think Portal to Ascension is about, and the Aquarian radio show and Aquarian Age is about how to get outside of the box, because when you're in it, you can't really see where you're going. But if we give people ideas, like that day after disclosure or something, what do we do after disclosure? Then it gives people something to wrap their minds around and the direction of where they can go. And I think that's why people like these time travel movies and stuff. It's like, where can we go outside of this box? Because the box doesn't really serve very many people. It's not a win for all. It's a, top-down thing. There's people at the top that kind of suck off, all the people underneath the pyramid. And there's somebody looking down their noses at us in every direction. So we're going to go past that. That was now said and done. We're going to bring on Neil Gaur, who is leading the way with Portals to Ascension. I've met Neil, I can't remember how many years ago. It was many, many years ago. And it was before he went on tour with Dr. Dream. And I stayed at this place. He was so generous. He let us stay at his house for a weekend with Ilya. And now he's just, he's making quantum leaps into this new reality and taking a lot of us with him, and I really admire your work, Neil. So come on, welcome to Future Trek, and tell our listeners about yourself and about your work and about your vision.
Yeah, sure. So hi, Karen and Janet. I'm really excited to be here with both of you guys, and my love for the two of you as individuals and a part of this community, the words can't even express it, so I'm really happy to be here with you. And now, with Portal to Ascension, so yeah, we did actually meet. And the year we met was 2009. And I was thinking when you said right now 2012, but when you said before the tour, that was 2009. So it's been quite some time. And the year we actually met was the year Portal to Ascension was born. Like, I was going to these expos, the ones that I met you at, when we connected through, and through going to those events was my inspiration to start creating these conferences. Like, the first one I went to was Awaken Aware in 2008, and there was like 600 people there all into the same topics, and it was the most amazing experience ever. So there was my intention, was like, I want to do this. I want to create gatherings where not only hundreds of people, but we can start creating like convention centers and getting thousands of people together. So over the last, 9 years now, I've just been focusing my intention, and we've been building slowly but surely. And we're getting to a point now where we're going to pretty soon, hopefully by the end of this year, start being able to facilitate these massive expos and conferences on these topics.
That would be amazing. I was a part of the Alien Expo last year in Santa Clara, but it seems like there's a lot of people that get locked out of these things, and there are incredible stories out there. Being here in the center of a hub on Aquarian Radio Network, I interview thousands of people that have pieces of the puzzle, and we need to connect the dots to assemble this puzzle to get all the pieces that's going to show us the new paradigm and the way into, the Star Trekky and beyond society. And so when you go to some of these big conferences, they lock out some of the people that really need a voice. And it's been perplexing for me that it's just all A-listers and the same people over and over and over again. So I'm continually looking for people who have, their pieces of the puzzle. And these people are coming out of the closet, and it's really hard for some people. They're afraid of losing their family, friends, jobs, whatever. And so anyway, I'm just putting that on the table. So these smaller things are coming about as well. But I thought one of the things we could do if we do these large gatherings is have a lot of panels. Because on a panel, you could have 6, 7, 8, 10 people and address a topic, and then have another one and another one. In some room, that'll be the panel room. And we can give the mic to more people that really have a lot to share. And it's kind of like your mind gets blown when you start listening to all these people, and you go, oh my God, that's what I talked about with Susie on a show last year, and here's somebody else, and they've got another piece of that puzzle. So anyway, I'm encouraging that to include more people, more like a big symposium. Let's all come and share what we know. Yeah. And then you can still have your people up there, but some way to share. Go ahead.
Right. That's exactly what Portal to Ascension is about. Because you go to MUFON event, what's MUFON about? Researching UFOs, right? They've let consciousness in there on some level, but they're mostly about the nuts and bolts research. And then you have Contact in the Desert, which is all ET stuff. Then you have Ancient Aliens, which is all ET. And even though to me the extraterrestrial question, which is not a question to me, is the most important question out there, right? Like the fact that it's real. Ultimately, there's so many different components where it's sustainability, changing the monetary system, free energy devices, advanced technology. So Portal to Ascension, we're like the one-stop shop for consciousness where you get all of that stuff. Like we have sacred sexuality workshops, we have conscious nutrition workshops. So it's cool because we've actually become one of the few places that I've noticed where a lot of people that even have conflicting views come into one platform in order to debate, their views so that they can come up with a consensus, or they can, we can kind of figure things out rather than everybody having their own perspectives and judgments on each other. So Portal to Ascension, I call it like an unconditional platform for consciousness, where we have all these varying perspectives, but the ultimate goal and the only agenda we truly have is that we're promoting a positive timeline in the future. That's like my rule of thumb with all presenters is whether they're promoting doom and gloom. I do my own research and stuff, but if they're promoting doom and gloom, like we're going to be screwed, slave race, I kind of like don't resonate with that. But even if they're saying like, hey, there might be some chaos right now, but we're ascending into this ascended world, that I agree with, because I feel we might need some of this basic comforts might need to be taken from us so we can have a different world where we are more in harmony with the planet. But ultimately, no matter what, the ascension is happening. The zodiac cycle is real. We're evolving to this higher level. So that's the people that I really want to attract in our community right now and start creating events with.
Yeah, the whole thing about the doomsdayers, the doomsters, and the apocalypso, we call it. I have a girlfriend who wrote a song, Apocalypso. We should play it sometime, make fun of it, because we can create that. We can go there individually or collectively if we want to go there. But I don't go there. I'm very connected with the extraterrestrials. I have been coming, let's see, how can I say? I've been having experiences since the crib. I came in and remembered a lot of my things that I was involved with before I came here. I still, to this day, like last night, I was really on another planet and having all these experiences. Just about every night, I'm some different place. And I know I'm a multidimensional being, simultaneously having many experiences. And I was shown the 24 major timelines, the probabilities of where we could go, and totally had the same. They showed them the same vision, and I was 4 years old, but when I was on the ship, I was like my eternal self. At that point, they just put it back in my lap. They said, you're the chooser. Do you want to go into the planet-wide blow-up in World War III? But there's 12 positive ones, and you can go into any one of those. And these are just a limited perspective of all the possibilities of where you could go as consciousness incarnate. And, of course, I chose So I'm not going into Apocalypso, and I really encourage people to. I know we're programmed with that from the get-go through religions and the cultural conditioning. Even if you're an atheist and a Christian or Muslim or whatever religion, you still imprint all these negative thoughts and paradigms. Even the New Age community, I have so many people. I just love them all, but they just go down that. We're going to die in World War III or the bullshit or Nibiru, and I just go, come on, haven't we done that one?
Yeah, it's seriously a shift in consciousness. So whatever we collectively energize, we're going to create. So if the doom and gloomers end up getting the majority of the world on their side, maybe that's the reality we'll create. But it's that malleable. That's why I'm out there just spreading love and light and spreading the message of oneness and how we're all interconnected, because the more people that resonate with that, the more people that are awake to that, the more of a chance we have to create that reality. So, and I feel like it's happening right now, and I see there's a lot of chaos in the world, with the political stuff, with terrorism and all this. I see that as necessary cleansing and purging of the old karma, and it's just coming to an end. There's a little bit of anger, a little bit of frustration when you realize you've been lied to, when you realize the system is so corrupt, when you realize that the elite and the politicians don't have your best interest in mind. Everyone's going to be pissed. But the cool thing is that now there's so much awareness out there that as soon as those people start waking up and being angry, we are the people, we're the light showers that can funnel them to the spiritual essence of who we really are.
Yes. Karen, what would you like to say?
Oh, I'm just feeling uplifted already. I had a conversation with someone a number of years ago, kind of a person who believed in a religious Armageddon kind of thing, and I said, well, is that what you want to have happen? And he was like, no, it's going to happen no matter what I think about it. It's in the Bible. All that. I said, but is that what you want? And he kind of went, well, not really. And it was like, I was kind of raised in a political, religious, doom and gloomy kind of background, and it really got to me. It was very soul crushing. And finally, I woke up on one day and I thought, well, even if it does happen, why don't I just have as positive of a life as I can up until that moment, because my quality of life, if I worry and I'm negative, is going to be worse than if I just don't think it's going to happen and I just live my life. And that was the beginning of realizing how much that you choose to experience. Now, there is someone that can come and mess your day up. I'm not saying that's not going to happen, but you can even recover from that faster if you're making the choice and you put those intentions that you're going to see this as positively as you can, or be persistent. And I have a life motto: walk it through. Just walk it through whatever the thing that's making you feel negative, and see what's on the other side of it. Don't let it like stop you, you know. And I can attest that at this point in my life, all the good things happening to me now were as a result of making that intention and that choice amidst a lot of difficulty and a lot of, you know, stress and issues and problems. I'm not saying it was a, you know, rosy path or anything. Well, rosy paths have thorns, right? So you have to put up with that. Right, but I mean, yeah, it's and so, you know, going into this, okay, we got the whole world looks haywire. It kind of always has. I don't recall when it hasn't looked haywire.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, so how do we want to feel about it? And I like what you said, Neil, about being the kind of the neutral platform, because we have a lot of smart people who are working pretty hard at trying to research and understand things, and they kind of land all over the place and don't agree. But one of the things my ET friend said is integration. That's how we reverse all this stuff that's separating us, and it's intergrace. So we have grace with each other, or who's right or who's wrong, or I'm wrong, I don't know. And we have gratitude for each other that you're trying, you know, and that can go a long way with other people.
Yeah.
Like that. It's I just want to say one thing, and I'll pass it back to you. You know, it's like that story that my husband always tells me. Yeah, there's a barn full of shit, but underneath there's a pony somewhere. So it's like that little boy or the little girl. It's like, oh, they don't even see all the crap. They just see, oh, there's the pony. So every day is the best of times and the worst of times, you know. And
right.
I wake up and I just go, well.
You.
Yeah, it's I'm in this duality, but I can change things. I've been playing with that a lot about being the manifester, and I remember a incarnation or existence. I don't even know if I was in a solid. I was kind of a humanoid form where I was a terraformer, a planetary creator, and I wasn't the only one. There was a whole group, and I clearly have that as a memory and. It first came to me in hypnosis, but then there are different things that once you have a hypnotic session and you recover something, then things trigger you throughout your life. So, and then I read, what is it called? The book Life Between Lives by, it's a doctor.
Dolores Cannon?
I can't think. No, not Dolores Cannon. It's the hypnosis people, and they take people into the Life Between Lives, and I'm drawing a blank right now, and they have 40,000 sessions they've done with thousands of therapists, and 40,000 people regressed into the Life Between Lives. We have threads of existence in the interlife. It would be good to have somebody from that institute. It's called the Michael Newton Institute. Dr. Michael Newton. There's people all over the planet. We can get somebody to come and talk about it, or we can have them come in. But they explain that. Everybody goes to the same place, but your beliefs affect it, of course, where you're going. There are things that we do on that dimension, which, I identify as a terraformer, but there's all kinds of things you can be doing. But there's a thread of you that comes down into physical form. So if you're an advanced soul, so to speak, or one that's really, done their work, you can simultaneously exist in many dimensions, many planes, many vibratory frequencies. Even on the Earth, you can have 3 or 4 incarnations at the same time, because time is the illusion of the third dimensional physicality. So anyway, it's a fascinating series of books by Dr. Michael Newton Institute, and I highly recommend it. And it's not the only book out there, but it kind of like was an eye-opener for me, explaining the things that I had been experiencing and remembering already. So, but I love your idea of the neutral platform. I love, not going down the apocalypso thread with the doom and gloomers. I don't mind looking at that in my, my shows, but I go, okay, we're going to do this for about a half an hour, and then we're going to come out the positive side with some resolutions, and and I always bring through, even when I do private sessions, I go, okay, let's go into it, crank it up, tell me the worst things, and we're going to go somewhere where you can cry, you can scream, you can tell people off, live or dead, you can tell them off, and then we're just going to do that for a while, and then when you you're done, you feel like it's out of you, it's like an exorcism, right? Then we're gonna reprogram into a positive outcome, and then you can start living your life from that more positive perspective. But ultimately, we all have co-created this, so
Exactly.
when you want to go down into this doom and gloom stuff, and if you're going to do it, crank it up and enjoy it. But I'm not going with you. I'm going over to higher consciousness. Go ahead, Neil. Your turn to talk.
Yeah, that's why I used to be. When I first woke up in 2001, 2010, I went deep into ETs and I went deep into conspiracies. By 2006, I was like knees deep into conspiracies. I was like, swine flu's going to take us out. Illuminati's got us controlled. Depopulation agenda. Georgia Guidestones. Like, I was tripping out, and it took me until 2008. Happened to be a year before I met you. I didn't realize that, the missing link was love. The missing link was consciousness. I knew it was spiritual stuff. I knew it had to do with vibration frequency, that there's ETs involved, that there's this cabal that could have some ET bloodline, but I didn't really know that it was like completely about spirituality in the bigger picture and how we're all part of this one web of consciousness, and even the experiences of darkness are actually experiences of light because we signed up to experience this duality. Therefore, we chose to come here in order to have, spiritual growth. Like, we came here to forget. We have amnesia, and that's not really a common thing throughout the universe. So we're here to figure out how to embody light in a world where we forget our connection to source. So in 2008, when I realized that, that's when everything changed for me. That's when Portal to Ascension was born, because it was like, okay, so now I see what's happening. So even though we present, like, we did a whole entire workshop with Stephen Greer called the Cosmic False Flag, which was exactly what's happening right now since December 16th. 6 months ago, we did an event where he told us that this is going to happen. And it was like, he was just basically saying, this is what the government is attempting to do, but obviously we got to raise our consciousness so we don't allow this to happen. But we still put that out there.
So what did he say that the government intended? Slow that down a little bit, because you're going excited here. And we're all excited, but let's slow this down a little bit. Go ahead.
So we produced and stream all of Stephen Greer's events the last 3 years. And I think it was 8-9 months ago, we did an event in Vegas called the Cosmic False Flag. And this was about the fact that the U.S. government is trying to do some type of drip disclosure in order to bring about a disclosure where they unite all the world's governments under a secret space program kind of thing, where we unite in order to weaponize space against an alien threat, because now everybody knows about ETs. But the way they're going to do it is that they're going to create, using Project Bluebeam or Blue Book something, the holographic project that they have, where they're going to create a holographic alien invasion, and they were going to unite and win the war, and then the whole world unites around this one world government. And he did an event saying about all of this stuff, and he said that they're going to come out with it. They're going to be military officials. These are the crafts that they're going to show us. He showed the graphs. It was on YouTube right now. He showed the images of the crafts that they were going to release. Tom DeLonge came out, same images. The story, he even told a story about Tom DeLonge and how Tom DeLonge and him had a falling out like a few years ago, because Tom DeLonge has this whole alien evil threat kind of thing, and Stephen Greer has this whole alien awesome energy kind of thing. So they both split ways. So he said all this stuff, and even I was sitting there and I was like, I don't know if it's going to be an alien threat, holographic thing, one world government. That kind of seems a little too far-fetched for my consciousness right now. But then all of a sudden on December 16th, everything he said to the T came out. Tom DeLonge even did interviews where he spoke about his connection to Stephen Greer, and all the things that Stephen Greer has been saying in the last 10 years that everybody took as hearsay for a long time came out as truth through all of this stuff, even the craft that he was showing. So it was interesting that that awareness came out. But ultimately, I don't think that the false flag is going to happen. I think that's the intention. So what I'm getting back to is the intention might be like the false flag alien threat, but what really is going to happen is just by telling people ETs exist, I think opens our consciousness to the possibility of contact. And I feel that the more of us that are open to this, the more likely we're going to have open contact with higher dimensional beings. So I don't feel we're going to go down that dark route.
And Stuart Swarbo came to my house, what was that, 2000, I don't know, 2, 3, or 4, something like that, and same thing. He was part of the Project Montauk, and he said that they had this false flag thing, and George Green has said about it. And so, yeah, there's all these false flag scenarios, but Caroline Corey says that there's a higher operating system than the matrix, that we have here. And that is superseding because we're all connected through this grid, not just here in the Earth grid, but the grids are connected to each other. So, we're feeding, it's Nassim Haramein, like you said. You've interviewed him. We're feeding the grid, and the grid is feeding us, and we keep up-leveling. So the more we up-level ourselves individually, we seem to think that we're helpless little victims down here. We can't do anything, but we're all crisis consciousness, and all we have to do is work on ourselves and then pull that out of other people. Everybody has it within them. If you go around fighting with everybody and talking stink and negative stuff and competitive, and you're going to go down the dark hole with them. But you can uplift yourself and then uplift people around you. And just like you, Neil, you keep talking about the positive outcome. So anyway, I know it's a way, and it sounds complex and it's hard to explain, but this is what I'm getting in my downloads. I have not had any negative experiences. I'm going to be 64 years old, and mine have been all positive. And I know some people go, oh, Stephen Weir, it's all positive. I'm not saying that the negative ones don't exist. I'm just saying that you, as the person traveling through the cosmos, can attract the positive experiences into your world. And if you don't like it, change the channel, go down a different lane on the great highway of life, and be in charge of your own life by boundaries and not listening to the stuff and not associating with the people that bring you down. Just hang out with people that bring you up, and guess what? You create a grid of energy that gets to the tipping point, and you can bring up everybody. Yeah? Anyway, it's like that 100th monkey thing. And that's been proven by quantum physics. Yeah.
Right.
Go ahead,
what I believe. That's the bottom line. That's kind of like the mission of Portal to Ascension, is just to assist in the 100th monkey effect, allow us to get a critical mass. I don't know what number that is, if there even is a percentage, but we're just taking it to the next level. So this year, like from now until October, I have 200 events scheduled, and that's like 250 days.
Oh my God!
And we have free events every month in Irvine. We have free events every month in Boulder. We have 3 webinars a month already scheduled from now till October. A new website just launched 2 days ago with every event on it. And then we have 3 tours that we're doing. We're doing the Lost Civilizations tour with we're going to have Brian Forster, Michael Tellinger, Hugh Newman, and a few other ancient civilization speakers on that tour. And we have the Disclosure tour, where we're going to go with disclosure speakers around the world. And then we're going to finish the year off with a tour with Graham Hancock. So we're hitting the road, and every single one of these events are going to be live streamed too. But the intention really is to start the process of not only going to local communities to have conversations about extraterrestrial awareness. Like the free events we do everywhere are all like little town hall meetings where people are getting together to talk about Ascension and ETs. And we have different featured speakers every single month. And then the Lost Civilizations tour is designed to start the process of rewriting the history book, because our history is so distorted, it's ridiculous. So we're going to start now lobbying different governments, even emailing them, contacting people, and start seeing how we can bring in practical change so that we can actually start teaching the world about the true world history, but not on a small level like a webinar with 100 people, but on a mass level, they're like tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of people.
So how do we get involved? Karen and I and all of the people that we work with, we have pieces of the puzzle. We love presenting. We love, connecting the dots and sharing information.
Yeah.
This sounds phenomenal what you're doing. And I'm on your website, and I can't figure out how to get in. Is it ready yet? It just seems like a...
Yeah. What site are you on? .org or .com?
I went to .com. So do I go to org?
Go to .org. .org, yep.
Okay, .com it's pretty. It's very pretty, but it says it's coming soon. Okay, so let me go to org. Oops.
So
okay.
Yeah, so we just created
the connection not private.
Are you not getting in?
Let me try again.
Yeah, portal2ascension.org should work.
Hey, I have a question.
It's good to test these things. Go ahead, you talk while I'm pulling up the website to get the tour.
I was really excited to hear about your local free events. We in anticipation of, we just moved to an area that's got a lot of awake and aware people. So I'm interested. I've done local types of things in the past. Is it a situation where it helps people find meetings in their own area? How's that been going for you on the local stuff?
So we just started the Boulder ones. We're starting this month. So we've been doing Irvine for around 4 months now, and we started with Miriam Delicado, who's an experiencer. We had like 150 people there. Been getting like 50 to 100 people, and what we're attempting to do is, because we're doing a huge conference in Irvine on October 5th, 6th, and 7th next year. So we're attempting to get a lot of local support and really get the community together and start these meetups so that we can build a foundation for when we do our big live event here. So it's been doing well. I'm kind of experimenting with it right now, and I really want to do like a longer event where we do like maybe a presentation. For example, Steve Bassett will be there next month, and he'll do a 2-hour presentation, but then maybe start with an hour of networking or end with an hour of networking so we can all talk and see how we can come together. But I want to start I want to reach out to people that want to create PTA meetings, like it's a play on words, instead of Parent-Teacher Association, it's Portal to Ascension meetings. And we're going to have local PTA meetings in cities all around the world. And the intention is once a month for us to get together to talk about conscious projects, ascension, maybe just spread awareness, talk about one extraterrestrial race and go into depth about it. All things that are conscious, maybe talk about the new discovery that they've had in Peru of some pyramid or something, like just local groups where we can start having super conscious conversations. And my goal is by the end of 2018 to have at least like 5 or 6 cities around the world just running monthly events.
That's great. It's kind of like think galactically but act locally, which is awesome.
Exactly.
And I think that's where it's at. I think I've been feeling it towards the end of this year to really work locally. I'm kind of fortunate being in New Mexico. New Mexico is very open. I mean, your average, I'll have a meeting with someone at a restaurant and I'll have a waiter come over and ask me, hey, where's your meeting? I want to know. My sister saw a UFO. I mean, it's more, I'm fortunate in being in a culture that already is open, but not everywhere that I've been has been the case, and yet I think people really want to blow the doors open. What we kind of see is we've had the professional investigator class, kind of running the whole, discussion, right? And I think that the experiencer-based ones, or people who are still searching, or they're looking into consciousness things, or they've had experiences of all kinds, are going, now wait a second, I don't want to be shushed just because I'm still sorting my thing out. And then when you get experiencer researchers together, or just even when we've interviewed people, there's always that one little thing that will get back to us and say, oh gosh, I had that happen to me too, And I think something I learned recently, I was reading an article in Psychology that if you have an experience but you don't talk to somebody or express it in some way, your brain puts it in the storage room in the back, until you hear something similar, and then it becomes like prominent and important and real and relevant to you. And we've been having all of these experiences put on the back burner, and I think it's just been like a logjam about ready to break. People really, really want to talk about this. I know you know that from your experience.
Yeah, and I am actually starting to work with experiences more now. Like, obviously, we did the Experiencer and Contactee 2-day conference with each other like a year ago, and I haven't really had that many experiences on. I have a lot of experiences because a lot of these individuals have experiences, but they're not like into the experiencer movement like the two of you, like Ray Hernandez, like Edgar Mitchell, the ones that are like hardcore experiencer, that are bringing out this awareness and this research. But what I've realized, like I just had a meeting with Ray Hernandez a few weeks ago, and he was like showing me all these statistics that they're gathering from experiences all over the world. Are you guys aware of this by any chance?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I worked with three. I worked with three a couple of years ago when they first got started. It's an excellent survey.
So for everybody listening who doesn't know, is that they're creating surveys on individuals' experiences all around the world and coming up with statistics about how their experiences are, and they're disproving a lot of stereotypes in regards to experiences, especially negative experiences with greys, experiences with reptilians. And it's extremely valid research, because pretty soon when like disclosure happens and extraterrestrial awareness is more common, these statistics are what we're going to have to implement in our understanding of these beings. So what I'm doing now is I want to have a whole component of Portal to Ascension where we continue to have the experiencers, because it's a shame, because a lot of people only listen to the nuts and bolts factual UFO sighting information, but really you got to realize that we've been in contact with these beings for a long time, and a lot of individuals are having experiences with them right now. It's not like they're still out there and we're just researching them. It's actually happening. So the experiencers are a cornerstone in, I feel, disclosure, as well as channeled information. But obviously you got to vet out your channeling, but I feel first contact is going to be channeling on some level, where we're going to start communicating with different consciousnesses through our own meditative practices before we even have maybe open contact with the landing, you know?
Well, what we're doing is synthesizing. Yeah, I'll pass back to you just a second. We're synthesizing the information that's coming from the contacting experiencers, from the researchers, and from the channelers, and any other way the information comes. If you look at it and correlate it, you'll find where they're compatible, and they're accessing something. We always say in therapy, somebody will say, "Oh, I can't go there. I'm just making it up." And Sasha will say, "Well, where are you making it up from? Everything that exists, materially or energetically, has been formed and is available, and it's accessible in the coherent field.
Yep.
So just pull it in." And so people are pulling it in. So if you're having experiences with extraterrestrials, it becomes irrelevant about where it began. It's like a chicken or egg discussion. It's like, this is what's happening. You're pulling it into your life, into your existence. It's relevant to your current now and to where we're going. So let's pay attention to it and correlate the information. So we're having a lot of fun with experiencers. They have the key to the secret space program. That's the key to us waking up completely, because the technologies already exist for everything, for clean, green energy, for space travel, interplanetary, universal, for extreme longevity, if not physical immortality, for cures for all diseases, for fair distribution systems. I don't even want to call it governments or governance, or Karen and I have done some things on the basic minimum needs economy, how everybody who is in a physical form, wherever you are in the cosmos, you get your needs met. You don't have to go down and slave just to get your base chakra needs met. So we're looking at all these things, because I've been looking at, the ancient alien and all that stuff for years, and but Sasha and I are both nerds, and we can't help ourselves. We're always examining and exploring and investigating and writing about these things, and we have all these incredible people coming to us. They want to be on our shows, and I've just gone crazy. I've booked for the next 2 or 3 months in between when I'm traveling. But I'm getting out there. I've got it very strong heading into 2018. This is the year of disclosure, but it's not going to show up the way we think it is. It's going to come from a grassroots movement like what you've led and Karen's led, and we've all. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking now. Next person.
I haven't been so excited. I haven't been so excited about a year than I have about this year for a long time. And I feel that a lot of what you just listed, that are all the different components, that some of the components you're working on are really going to start emerging this year. And one of them is the cure for cancer. Like, we don't need to be sick There's so many different people that have cured it, different plant medicines that have assisted with it, that we don't need to be like as sick as we are on this planet. And even just changing the collective diet of a country to maybe like from table salt to like Himalayan salt. There's so many different things that we can just implement that can really help change and cure and like get rid of a lot of illness. And what's happened is the cover up on every level when it comes down to cancer, when it comes down to like having to use petrol cars, when it comes down to the secret of the extraterrestrial presence, the cover up has become such a huge lie that they can't withhold it anymore and they can't keep pushing it forward. So what they need to do now is they need to disclose it, but they need to do it in their way where they can still maintain control. So a lot of this stuff is coming out, and a lot of other components like cancer cures are coming out because they really can't say that it's not, they can't do it anymore because all the studies are coming out that these are actually having benefits against reversing cancer cells. So I'm extremely excited this year because, like, I don't know if you guys know, but the language barrier just got obliterated like 2 months ago. And you know the whole Sumerian story about how we were all different languages so we can't communicate with each other.
Right.
And Google and this other private company and this other one in Japan last December, just a few weeks ago, released devices for around $200 to $300 where they translate up to 20 different languages in real time, just like Star Trek. And it's out. You can buy it now.
Oh,
so this year, 2018, is the year that we have like fixed the karma of the Annunaki. It's like we can now communicate with each other once again, you know? So like I'm tripping out, and I've never been so excited in my life. Like I'm ready to do this now. And the whole Christmas, I was working all day, Christmas, midnight. Like I'm like, oh my God, this is happening. I'm so amped up that I'm just doing this 24/7. I've been 13, 14 hours straight work sessions for 2 months now just to launch this whole new website. And I know it's going to pay off.
Yay! And
do
that's
some big
wonderful
things.
because I've been wanting to travel more into countries that don't speak English, so I just need one of these little universal translators, and then I won't be so lost in these countries that are not speaking English. Cool. As soon as they come out, I'll get one. I'm going to head to Europe and other places. So, well, this is very exciting, and that's what when you're looking at something and you find yourself saying, the dread. Like words of dread, like, oh, I'm scared of this, flip it around, say, I'm excited. And then you take back your reality. You find there's always something in everything, even though it feels bad or horrible, whatever, where you get excited about and take it and turn. Each person can turn it around and make it something good for themselves and everybody. So I'm excited. So let's talk a little bit. We have just about 15 minutes left of the hour we were going to do. Let's talk about some of these events that you have coming. Slow it down a little bit. Karen has hers. Mine's still, I'm kind of like working on it. I'm trying to play telephone tag with people to get the venue. So let's go. Yours is more concrete and Karen's is more concrete. What are you doing? What is it? The next 3 months? What's going on? Let's slow it down.
Okay. Well, let me first start by saying we just launched 3 websites. We just relaunched Portal to Ascension 2 days ago. So on our website now, you can sign up for free membership access, and you get hundreds of hours of the webinars that are now free on our site. You can upgrade anytime. It's like a full-on Netflix-like website for consciousness. And then we launched Global Ascension Tours, which is our touring agency for conscious presenters. So now we're going to start booking tours, managing events, live streaming for conscious presenters. We've done a tour with Michael Tellinger. We've done a tour with Trisha McCann. We have one with Graham Hancock, another one Brian Forster, Stephen Gray, and Paula Harris scheduled for this year. And then we launched the third component, so like the Trinity of Portal to Ascension, which is consciouslivestreams.com, and the business is called Stream of Consciousness. So if anybody there is a conscious presenter, conscious workshops, or whatever, and you want your event live streamed for an extremely affordable price, check out consciouslivestreams.com. And it's live stream services for businesses designed for the evolution of consciousness. And it's so great that like you can literally fly me out to Australia to live stream your event, and it's cheaper than hiring someone that lives on your same street in Australia, because we've subsidized it with what we're generating from Portal to Ascension, allowing us to do this. So we're going full throttle with all of those this year. Now, for the next 3 months, first event that's coming up, like the major event, is the Extraterrestrial Disclosure Online Summit, which is our third ET disclosure event. We did 2 last year, and that's January 20th and 21st. We have Grant Cameron, we have Nick Pope, Trish McKinnon, we have Brian Forrester, Jordan Sather, and like John D'Souza, who worked for the FBI, and then also an individual called Michael Schratt, who was actually an aeronautical engineer working for the Black Ops programs, and he actually utilized reverse engineering technology to make craft for the U.S. government. So he's doing his first presentation on our event where he's going to be talking about that. And then after that, we're going to have an event with Tricia McKinnon, and then another event after that with Brian Forrester. So, but you can go to our website. We have the next 5 months worth of events are up on the website right now, portaltoascension.org. And within a week to 2 from now, every single event that we have scheduled, 3 webinars a month, 4 different tours, live streams, and the expos and conferences we're going to be doing, they're all going to be on our website. So we're going to just be on the road all year doing these events.
Wonderful. Karen, tell us a little bit more about what's shaping up for you. Do you have any idea who you're going to invite and those types of things?
Yes, and I apologize for my barky dog in the background. She's a guard dog, so if you hear her, she's doing her job. Oh, good.
In here.
Yes, when I moved to Silver City, New Mexico, December 1st, my partner, Brett Shepard, and I, it was with the full intention early on to start some kind of local event. And the reason why we came here, because we did 2 events here, the small events, and we had small audiences, but boy, were they enthusiastic. We have a community here that's very open to a lot of different topics. So I started working on an event that I've been calling Silver City Cosmic Days. It's going to be in September. We're going to have some details coming along in a later show here on Future Check. But in the meantime, the whole panel of speakers from the Mars Anomaly Research Society made a request to be the speakers for our first event, which we were, myself, you, Janet, you and Sasha, Brett Colin Shepard, Andrew Bishago, Billy Carson, there's a whole bunch of us, Louis Michael Reinhardt. We were, Thomas Mikey Shorter, can't forget everybody. We were in Mobile, Alabama last year for an amazing event. And this year we're going to bring it to Silver City. It's going to be the 7th Annual Mars Anomaly Research Society Conference. And it's kind of interesting because, we're going to have anomalies. They're really cool for Mars, far out. But we're going to get some in-depth case studies. Brett Colin Shepard's going to talk about the Nikola Tesla radio telescope was pointed to Mars in 1924 and got a signal back. He kind of briefly talked about it, but he's going to go into it in depth. Of course, we have Andrew Bishago. He's going to be talking about, continuing to talk about his Mars jump room experiences. Louis Michael Reinhardt, we're trying to get him to talk about the Foresight Institute remote viewing a domed area of Mars and what they discovered. And I know, Janet, you and Sasha are going to do something about the Annunaki, and maybe Billy Carson as well. And I'm going to talk about the PSYOP. How do you battle the consensus reality show? I really want to empower people to feel confident about their experiences and how to argue with your skeptic friend and win. And so that's what I want to contribute.
That's awesome.
And it's a beautiful little town. It's a little touristy town, great restaurants, great ambiance. So that's what we're doing in Silver City, probably 6th, 7th, and 8th, I think, or 9th in Silver City, New Mexico. But we'll have more information in this coming week.
Month? What month was it again?
September. My favorite month
September. Yeah, September. That's great. Yeah, and so what we're going to do with our conference is focus on the secret space program and then the regular experiencers, and we're going to have a lot of panels, and we're looking at the ancient aliens and extraterrestrials from ancient to modern, and of course the Annunaki, because the Annunaki are still there. When you go into conspiracy, I've been really researching it. They are the ones behind the throne, the crown. I really recommend watching Victoria and the crown, and it'll give you some insights into what's been going on, because basically Enki, when he was leaving town or going into the back end of the whole drama, what was going on, he set up the priesthoods and the kingships. And it's an unbroken chain going all the way back, thousands of years. And yes, yes, Virginia, Jesus is an Annunaki. So we've been bringing that forth with a lot of our researchers, and we're going to work on that. I would love to get a couple of these researchers. A lot of the Anunnaki researchers have passed, or they've gotten so old they can't get out there. So we've got to get the next generation out here. And so hoping to bring in Glenn Vogue from Canada. He's written, he has 4 books. He has one he can't publish it because he's an attorney. And he's got some very high-level cases, and until he gets through that, he can't publish the last book because it's going to blow everybody's mind. It really has incredible information on his research. He's so as soon as I can, I'll bring that forth. And then once he's doing some major cases for the indigenous peoples of Canada, like bringing their cases to the international court. So God bless you. Glad he's doing a lot of hard work. So this is very, very exciting what all of us are doing here. And I know there's ways that we can correlate with you and combine our efforts. That's what I see there's a bunch of arguments about nuts and bolts against this and that, and like the mediator in the center is like, come on, let's come together. There's so few of us. Yeah. There's so few of us.
I'm into it all,
time. Yeah. So
if
go ahead,
if you guys have any, I was going to say, I understand, I'm with you, I'm into it all, like the spiritual stuff, the channeling, the consciousness, the nuts and bolts, the conspiracies. So I was going to say that if you guys want to collaborate or co-produce anything, let me know, because I'm open to it all, and we can add more events to our schedule. But what I really want to get into is the live conferences. Like, I've been, ever since 2012 when we did our live conference in Irvine, I've been attempting to get back into doing that. So the October event is going to be like a milestone in everything we've been working towards. Like, we finally made it full circle back to doing the live event. And I want to create those events worldwide, like an annual event in California, annual event in London, an annual event in New York, maybe an annual event in Hawaii. The universe is an abundant place, so I just know we build it, we team up with the right people, and everyone will come.
Yes, and I'm interested in co-creating an annual event here in Hawaii. I have a local person that's going to work with me, and then I'd like to collaborate with you. I'd like to bring Karen and everybody over here. I have a very large house that I can fix up rooms for people, so I need to do a GoFundMe to fix up the temple here. And this is why my roots, I started with Tantra, and then there's the Anunnaki brought Tantra to the earth, so it's all connected when you look at it. It's just amazing, and I'm a lifelong experiencer, and I literally last year, about a year and a half ago, I call it the sport model. In broad daylight, this craft came right about, 10 feet above my deck and hovered there for 15 minutes, and it talked to me. It was telepathic, and it was communicating to me. And I went to take a picture, and it said, if you move and take a picture, I will blink out. I'm not going to let you take a picture. So I think if we had a CE5 type thing here at my property, we could call them in. Yeah. I get so much contact here, and I don't have the night vision goggles, or, they're all so expensive. But if we get something over here, we'll have maybe some little smaller private gatherings on this property. I've been told that this is a portal, and there's Portal to Ascension, that this is a portal, my land here. Behind us is called the home of the gods, the mountain. I didn't know that. I talked to someone who had talked to a Hawaiian, it was a woman, some kind of whatever she was, in the 70s, and she said that this is the home of the gods up here. And I'm across from Haleakala, which has the secret space program, the HARP technology, and that's supposed to be like, I don't know, maybe 7 to 13 floors deep inside of Haleakala. So this is a magical place to do the UFO stuff, and we can bring in Dr. Michael Sala. Have you worked with Dr. Sala at all?
Yeah, I'm actually about to work with him for the first time in August. We just scheduled an event together.
Excellent. Yeah. So we want to, I don't know if he had planned to go to Italy or something, but hopefully he stayed in the States, or at least he'll stay connected. Okay, we just have 5 minutes. Let's wrap it up. Okay. Karen, final words?
Just pay attention. I'll try to have some more information about this event and other things going on. I think people have taken disappointment and discouragement and, they sort of made lemonade out of the lemons because, well, if you give lemons to my partner, Brad, I'll make lemon bars. They're really yummy. But, I mean, people are really stepping up to the plate and becoming, emboldened by adversity. Whatever adversity they're going through is emboldened so many people, and that encourages me. I've had setbacks, but already, things feel like they could go forward. And so I think just if you have the inkling to do something, follow that, see it through, give it a go for everyone. I think everyone listening should do that, and we can choose and make the world a better place by our intention.
Wonderful. And, Neil, if you would send me the links to all of your websites and updates, I'll put it on the show page, and I'll put it on the YouTube page that gets made for this, and I'll get the word out far and wide. And final words to you, Neil.
Yeah, so we are pioneering awareness, all of us collectively, on the disclosure of extraterrestrials, our true ancient origins, our galactic origins, and assisting with the evolution of consciousness. And for a while, I had this rule of non-imposing and just doing my own thing. But at this point, this awareness is sweeping the planet. People are waking up. Other people are out there lost and confused without any grounding because, once the system changes, a lot of what we thought was real, we're going to realize was just an illusion. Plus, we live in an illusion. So right now is really the time to step up. So I would say to everybody, just follow your passion 100%. Do what you love. Spread your truth to everyone. And if you're interested and want to be a part of what we're doing, please go to our website, portal2ascension.org, especially if you're in California. If you're like Southern California, you want to meet up, have lunch, hit me up because a lot of people are contacting me and I'm meeting up with a lot of local people to create a movement. So reach out to us. We need people all over the world. If you want to create events in your local communities and have Portal to Ascension assist in facilitating that, then also please reach out to us. So let's do this. Love you, everyone.
Okay, love you too. And I'm going to end the show with Planet of Peace by my dear friend, Jaiya Earthchild. And thank you and blessings and much love and aloha.
Sharing one home. Our home is a planet of peace. Planet of peace. Planet of peace. In this vast universe, we all share this planet Earth. We have shared the air since the dawn of time. No one takes a breath saying this one's mine. We share the sun, we share the sea. It's time to learn to share the land in peace. You who govern choose to spend more on war than we can comprehend. We insist to share our wealth, food and water, homes and health, teachers, trees and medicine. of peace, planet of peace. You of every nation are family to me. I feel such consternation that you suffer while I walk free. I will do all that I can to help unite this family of woman, child, and man. The leaders of our nation, are they wise as well as strong, or boys in imitation, pointing that he's God, threatening the future, endangering us all? The people of all nations are united to end all war, for we are one human family, sharing one home, planet of peace.